The Makers felt a weapon as powerful as the Slayer should be guided.
They lied to us. And now he has a leash.
He's not one of us.
Our enemy is divided. The time is now.
They fear him, and so your dominion over hell is not absolute.
Avoid the Slayer. Focus on breaking humans first.
That demon, he's after something. That much power in Hell's hands. None of us would survive. Bishop Creed, we need him.
Launch the Slayer.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Stronger than maybe even you.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software, where more than 30 years ago, a small team of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever, and the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on id's tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
That was so stupid, I mouthed the words. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience. So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series. And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with the combat. In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom the Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal. And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again, just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom the Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw. Block. Throw. Parry. Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual, tons of depth on a single button press. You know, we want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom the Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight. And the Shield Saw will give you the strength to go head-to-head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created at id. But that's not all, because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How about an iron flail? Or maybe an electrified gauntlet? Or even a Doom spiked mace? That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades, and it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit, and it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger. That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns, and Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created. Mean. Ancient. Brutal torture machines, built to butcher, impale, and shred the minions of hell with. Only in Doom, that's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom the Dark Ages.
And under the hood, for the first time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and challenge of the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story Atlan, which is a mech. It's the size of a building, it's powerful, and you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, We also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The power fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. Explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game, discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game. Where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates because the battle isn't over yet. And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
But that is for you to decide. When Doom: The Dark Ages releases,
the power of hell, cowering over one man.
Engines online.
The flames of the fight never die out. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is packed with 8 classic titles, including crossovers and 3D fighters. Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro. Capcom vs. SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001. Project Justice. Power Stone. Power Stone 2.
So soft now.
Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Capcom Fighting Evolution. Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein. Online play with rollback netcode available for all titles. Over 600 pieces of artwork and over 400 songs to explore in the museum. Packed with new features like training mode, one-button specials, and saving at any time. Fine-tune your experience with X settings to change secret character options, game versions, and more. For Capcom vs. SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Power Stone 2, and Project Justice, play with newly arranged soundtracks. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 releases May 16th, 2025. Available for pre-order after this showcase. As a pre-order bonus, receive rearranged versions of Soy Sauce for Geese and Rival Schools Medley by Cap Jams, available in the museum for your listening pleasure. Additionally, a limited amount of physical copies will include the Capcom vs. SNK 2 original comic. See the official site for more details.
Come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss.
Peggy 16.
Imperial is a sci-fi fantasy action RPG. I call it sci-fi fantasy because the setting is sci-fi, but I think the mood and feel is more fantasy.
You are a mercenary and you've come to this unexplored planet. There is this huge monolith in the center, and there's been an expedition that's already tried to figure out what's going on, but they have so far not got very far with it.
They've been trying to explore this monolith that's been built by a lost ancient civilization, and it becomes clear that this civilization has made discoveries that are unknown to the modern world.
Players can choose a weapon at the start of the game, but they're not locked into that. They can change once they pick up a new weapon, and they can experiment with different play styles. You can also customize your character, so you can make it however you want. There's lots of customization options, and I think there's a lot of variety there for players to explore.
And then beyond just the visual customization of your actual physical appearance, you can customize it with armor sets, and we have dozens of different visual assets for those as well. And then you can customize it with your playstyle. We have, I think, about 50 different abilities, hundreds of stats in the game. I would say, in summary, it's a true RPG. It's meant to be explored to that level of depth. The combat revolves around 3 different weapon archetypes. So we have a glaive, cannon, mace, shield, and they all play very differently. Just by equipping the weapon, you will get different moves, and you'll get a completely different feel.
Once you've chosen your weapon archetype, you want to be selecting your abilities as well. So you have several choices of abilities to make. Some are specific to the weapons, and some are shared.
And then you have ultimate abilities, which require energy to build up. We have sort of a camera cut, so you get the spectacular, explosive kind of aspect of the combat as well.
There are thousands and thousands of possibilities for creating your build. You could create something basically entirely unique.
You can only change your loadout when you're in sort of the safe central hub zone area of the game. But if you find that for whatever reason a particular level doesn't seem to fit with the build that you've made, then you can change that and try again.
So in terms of stuff that players haven't seen, there is a lot because we've only put out a couple of trailers, so there's tons and tons of content. Particularly for a small studio, we've created a game that's very, very ambitious.
The challenge is making all those elements come together in one big, satisfying game that's going to reward curiosity. I think we've conquered that, to be honest.
Peggy 16.
I think that what makes us really stand out is just the scope and depth of our features and mechanics, coupled with a narrative that is hopefully genuinely compelling and thought-provoking.
It's a very honest homage to RPG games with a nostalgic, traditional RPG feel, but there's also some new features like our asynchronous features that allow the community to come together and to foster connections inside the game as well as outside of the game. Players can trade items with each other, so I think that's quite exciting. There's a voice in the darkness, so you're able to give up something called a reset charge, which allows you to revive a player in another world after they have run out of their reset charges. So that can be quite a good feeling because it says player whoever has saved you from peril, basically. There's another feature called Into the Ether, which I really like, where you can throw an item into the ether and a player will get it on the other side and then it will be ether touched, which gives it some additional kind of benefits. So yeah, there's lots of features that are cooperative and I'm very curious to see what players do and if they choose to do that.
One of the most common items that players will want to trade between each other are the cartograms themselves. Cartograms are the levels that you play in the game, but these can be thought of as blueprints because they're actually items that you carry in your inventory and they drop from enemies. Each one comes imprinted with some randomized elements, which will make you have to think about how you approach it. As you progress through the game, you'll find a lot of sort of, if you like, loot, which is equipment that the player wears. The loot system is randomly generated from enemies, and we also have a crafting system in the game where you can reroll stats and you can move stats around to modify them just enough so that they improve to fit your build. As you play, you'll also be able to unlock new abilities, which is what the combat revolves around. Some of the abilities are actually tied to the ancient technology as opposed to the modern one.
Some of them are tied to the weapons, but there's also shared abilities that can be used with any build, and there's also an ultimate ability that you get later in the game.
You also want to be asking yourself, when using these abilities, what kind of damage do you want to be doing? So you may want to be selecting abilities that really lean into the elemental type of damage that your weapon does. If you have a frost-based weapon, for instance, you'll be choosing abilities that have frost-based damage or inherit that damage from the weapon.
Each different cartogram will have different ways that it needs to be solved. So the point is to be able to create different builds and to allow players to have that level of complexity and that layer of theory craft in their build. But then also it does require some sense of mastery, like some of the skills require perfect timing, parries and dodges. So there's also that aspect to it.
There's a lot of opportunity for players to really play their way. And I think they're really going to enjoy it.
Peggy 16.
One of the things we were conscious of when creating this idea of a monolith is that we wanted to make sure there was still variety in there. So we did actually create 4 very distinct different biomes. These reflect certain almost philosophical principles of life, if you like, and each one, in terms of its art direction, is meant to kind of invoke certain feelings. You will also see some very unique areas which lead more towards the supernatural and divine aspects of the mysteries that this ancient civilization has uncovered.
So players will encounter lots of different enemy types within the monolith. So they are ancient automatons that are trying to protect areas in the different biomes, and they all have different styles of gameplay and all have different methods of defeating them.
This is sort of tied to the cartogram system. We put a lot of information up front in those cartograms, including what boss you'll face. And we also have something we call a dynamic difficulty indicator, which in real time takes into account your own power levels, such as the level of your character and what resistances you have, and compares that to the cartogram. It's just a loose indicator. It's not meant to be taken completely literally, but we do suggest which cartogram is maybe within your power level.
In Imperial, there's 9 different characters, and each of them have their own unique backstories. So all of them have their own motivations and reasons for being there, and they all have different takes on what's happening inside the monolith.
Huh. I see the rumors were true.
Each of them is intended to be a very unique personality, and they've all had to sacrifice a great deal to be here, and they're all concerned about the future, and they're concerned about what they found.
It's very dangerous here. You shouldn't have come here.
each of their quest lines have multiple endings depending on how you speak to them and what you do within the game. So it's gonna basically, everyone's end game can look quite different depending on how you've treated different characters.
What I hope is that players will resonate with these characters, that they will have their favorites. I mean, I'm probably biased, but I think they're one of the most interesting aspects of the game.
There are many, many things that I'm proud of with Imperial, but I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is the amount of complexity that we've managed to add to the game in a positive way. So every time players will play, they will probably discover something new or they will uncover a new feature.
I think the mystery is going to be one that's going to really excite players. This is a game that doesn't necessarily force feed information to the player. They're going to be rewarded for their curiosity.
Imperial is a self-contained story, but the universe is very expansive. The people who belong in this world, including your player character, they know a lot about the history, they know a lot about the entities, about the civilizations, about the warring powers.
When you're creating any kind of new IP or any kind of RPG game world, you really need to think about the whole context of the world as well. So there is definitely scope for more in this universe, and we've definitely thought about how that could be utilized in the future.
So what is Imperial? In a nutshell, Imperial is a third-person action RPG about transcendental revelation. The game begins with your arrival on an unexplored planet to join an expedition that's discovered a monolith built by a lost ancient civilization. Once you finalize your character, you arrive in the hub to meet the rest of the expedition. Each member of the expedition has their own personal questline. All of these questlines have multiple endings, and it's even possible to fail them entirely. The gameplay of Imperial is a mix of traditional third-person action and, I would say, isometric ARPG elements as well, in the way that abilities work in the game. The first thing to take note of is which weapon archetype you want to use, as this will have a big effect on your overall playstyle. So there is a strong RPG aspect to the gameplay, but there are skill-based elements as well. You can do perfectly timed attacks, deflects, parries, and even some abilities have extra effects if they are perfectly timed. One of the most important features of the game is something that we call cartograms. You can almost think of these as a blueprint for some of the aspects that you're encountering in a level. We don't do procedural level design. We do the level design by hand because we wanted to create all sorts of interesting details, shortcuts, hidden nooks and crannies, and things like that. Imperial is coming to Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox on May 8th, 2025.
Yeah. What are you looking for? This is it! Got him where it hurt! Not too good! Wow! Look at those! Aren't they the cutest accessories you've ever seen?
Forgive me. I didn't mean to make you wait.
Now's our chance! We've almost reached the goal!
It's clear we're united in our desire to fill each other's lives with joy.
We've got trouble! Some kind of shadowy monsters attacking the village!
It will be a long and perilous journey, but the fate of this land rests upon your shoulders.
My life force is all but spent. Dancer, I bid you act in my stead.
I'm sorry. All this happened because I made you an earth dancer.
Even if we're destined for destruction, I'll always pray for our world to know peace and happiness!
That's an earth dancer's calling! To bring the land and its people together!
Righty, let the search begin!
I'm just as excited as you are. But what exactly are we trying to find?
Simple. Look here. See the pictures on the wall?
Oh, you're right. I never noticed them.
So now we gotta ask why they drew these. While I don't have an answer right now, I'm gonna find one. Okay, if you're going, then so am I. And I won't take no for an answer. My mom always said that when you meet someone you really love, your whole world changes. I didn't get that when I was little. It sounded so dramatic. But I think I finally understand what she meant.
Huh? Wait, finally? What about that person you call your hero?
No way! Are you that dense? You confess your feelings, and yet you still don't get mine?
Ciao! What a splendid surprise!
Hello, Mauro. What brings you here?
What else? My life's calling! You see, I travel all over the world in search of its greatest treasures.
And you won't find any here. This is just a poor old woman's fortune-telling hut.
That's where you're wrong, Hisui. Treasure can be found anywhere. Why? Even within your heart. Grazie, traveler! I am Mauro Perforte St. Coquille, but please, call me Mauro. You came. Though for better or worse, I'm not sure yet.
Should I have not come at all? I wanted to hear how you felt, Mauro.
I'm torn. I both did and didn't want you to come. Because part of me wanted our relationship to stay ambiguous. So let us not misunderstand each other, yes? I'll speak plainly. I am head over heels in love with you. I want to take you back to my hometown. Give you whatever your heart desires. And protect you from anything that could ever cause you pain.
fear no more. Let all far and wide hear me and tremble. Let all who stand witness be amazed. For I am a descendant of the great progenitor of Azuma, the divine dragon, Mokoshiro!
Yep, right here. I'm the one who made you an earth dancer.
Finally caught up.
That's it! The weird animal!
Wolby! You just ditched me, you jerk! I can't fly very far like this, you know.
We pay you 100-fold. Just say the word.
Aw, yeah, gladly.
Huh? Who's this fuzzball?
I am not a fuzzball! For your information, I am a divine descendant.
Kaguya, your wonderful dad must be so rugged and handsome.
And your mother must be drop-dead gorgeous, just like you.
I wonder who our child will take after most.
Oh, stop it, you big tease!
Hey, I did not say that.
Steel was a gift from the gods. But these are dark times. The Queen's spell has turned steel to stone and left her army unmatched. Only you can wield the hammer of the gods and bend steel to your will. You have been chosen, Arandelira. Only you can forge your legend.
What could you possibly say? You're here to kill me.
Who am I?
If you want, I can give you support.
Testing ground for weapons, and it's been closed down. Why am I in a place like this?
That's what I want to know.
It can't be.
Especially what kind of traps. We should be careful.
Hey, where am I?
Shall we go? I'll guide you.
Yeah, I'm counting on you.
Perhaps this is a good opportunity. It is better to light one's candle than curse the darkness, you could say.
Huh? You're an AI, but you're using such complicated expressions.
The contactor bioweapon is as powerful as expected.
Mocking me again. I'm going to get out of here. I swear it!
The outcomes of war aren't quite that simple.
Wait, you didn't think to tell me?
Few survive this world. But those who do... awaken. The desert wants you dead, Off-worlder. If the sands don't take you, the storms will swallow you whole. But you don't have to walk this path alone. In every danger, there is opportunity. The foundation of something greater. A power waiting to be harnessed. Desert power. Some claim to rule this planet. But Arrakis is yours to explore. To fight for. To conquer. But there are forces beyond even your control. Master Arrakis, and it will open your mind. This is your path to awakening.
Golden Dantis, the greatest swordsman of all demons.
In 1560, Lord Nobunaga Oda fell to a fatal arrow, which pierced his throat. However, Nobunaga was far from finished. With the help of the demons, he rose from the dead.
Escape! Who did this? For whom are you working? I won't forgive you. Prepare yourself!
The one responsible for burning down Yagu village is Nobunaga Oda. this power to defeat Nobunaga.
My name is Ohi. I'm from Odani.
I dream of becoming a feudal lord.
Wouldn't it be great to live in a time of peace?
You see? I will never be defeated.
My name is Gugandantis, the greatest swordsman of all demons. Anga!
Just a little human.
So, the cockroach is still alive.
I'll show you what nasty means.
It is the Yagyu clan's mission to stop the demons when they rise up to the surface.
If this is my destiny, I'll accept it. I'll be this Oni warrior, and I will destroy the demons! You will pay for this, Nobunaga!
I keep having the same dream. A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. And when it seems they might vanquish the invaders, the dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies with you.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together. I see great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance, the blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a hero. But for humanity's sake, you must.
Then give me your power, Arena.
Pirate shipwreck of days since the Quadruple A. Meet Captain Blood, straight from 2004. It's time to shed. bores me, sixth. Rated M for mature. Coming Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Steam, GOG, Epic Games, Mac. What else? PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and for the love of the sea, why not your microwave too, huh? Maybe your toaster. It's got buttons.
Of redemption, you were chosen, thrown together by forces beyond our control. Tragedy must be averted. And for that, I need your help.
Stand tall. The night is far from over. Little pillager, bent on sacking the lands of gold. I will swat away any and all who dare approach.
Band together and prepare to claim. The life of the Night Lord.